Ted Bundy was a 42-year-old American serial killer who kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered dozens of women and young girls across numerous states in America. His MO was to pretend to be an authority figure or to dupe his victims with a ruse that he needed assistance. He would sometimes go on to break into victims' properties and would also perform random blitz attacks on them. It is thought that he's killed at least over 30 women, and his depths of depravity plunged deeper than many other serial killers. Ted Bundy was born Theodore Carroll on the 24th of November 1946. His biological father was unknown. Due to the stigma of being born out of wedlock, he was raised by his maternal grandparents. He grew up believing that his real mother, Louise Carroll, was his sister, and that his grandparents were actually his parents. He would go on to describe his grandfather, Samuel, as being abusive and alcoholic. However, those who knew Samuel never substantiated these claims. Bundy displayed disturbing behaviour at a very young age. One family member woke up from a nap to find knives placed around them, only to find that the 3-year-old Ted Bundy was stood at the end of the bed, smiling. A childhood neighbour described him as a mean-spirited kid and that he liked to inflict pain and fear on others. However, as a younger adult, Bundy's chameleon-like nature allowed him to hide his inner deviancy and would often go under the radar. He worked in a Seattle suicide centre. He completed a psychology degree. He joined Governor Daniel J. Evans's re-election campaign. However, in 1974, Bundy broke off his relationship with Diane Edwards, the only woman he ever loved. He also stopped attending classes at law school. His reign of terror would span across multiple states. During the first half of 1974, college girls were going missing by the rate of 1 per month. He would break into their apartments, sexually assault them, murder them, and then dump the bodies. He would also lure women to his car with the ruse that he needed help, portraying an injured person with his arm in a sling. When they was helping him, he'd take a tire iron and hit them over the head, beating them unconscious. Using this ruse, he started to abduct women in broad daylight. In one particularly brazen and sadistic act, he kidnapped 2 women using his usual ruse, took them off into a wooded area, and made one victim watch while he sexually assaulted and murdered the other one, and then repeated this with his latter victim. 4 women would go missing in Utah, Idaho, and Colorado, and with some of his victims, he started to engage in necrophiliac behaviour, even visiting the bodies long into decomposition. In the early hours of the 15th of January 1978, Bundy entered the Chi Omega sorority house. Here, he brutally attacked 4 women, bludgeoning them and strangling them. He also tore into the flesh with his teeth. 2 victims survived with severe injuries such as broken jaw and missing teeth. His last known victim was 12-year-old Kimberly Leach, who he kidnapped, murdered and mutilated with a knife. Bundy was arrested on February 12, 1978, to go on trial for the Chi Omega murders and would brazenly represent himself at trial. He was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to death on July 24, 1979. He also received a 3rd death sentence for the murder of Kimberly Leach on February 10, 1980. Whilst on death row, Bundy would continue to confess to other crimes and would give up details of deposition sites in exchange to delay his execution. Bundy was put to death in the electric chair on January 24, 1989 at 7:16 in the morning. Baying public outside the prison celebrated his death with chants of "Fry Bundy Fry" and also released fireworks when he was executed.